folks, welcome back again to the channel, The Creative Guitarist. That was a solo that I did on the Gilbert family's latest CD, Welcome Home, from the song That Same Spirit. And I'm doing this solo here on the brand new strings that I received from Black Diamond Strings. One of the representatives reached out to me a pretty good while back. I've finally been able to sit down and do this video. And these are the Nashville Bronze strings. There's also an electric version called the Nashville Bright. We'll go to my screen here in just a little while and talk about more of the features of the strings themselves. Now, I've only been able to play these strings a couple times, 2 or 3 times. But what I can say is that I really like the feel of these. These were given to me as a beta test before they even actually did the public launch and the public release. These are the lights, which it feels nice to have lights on my Martin again. The good thing about lights is they don't hurt my fingers as much when I'm trying to do fingerstyle things. There's just some good strings for fingerstyle, and I may do something like that a little later. I'm not very good at it, but I usually do a hybrid of picking and fingerstyle stuff. I may just do some of that. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and do that right now, and we can see how these sound with that type of picking. This is from my album Revival in the Air, which is available on Bandcamp, ericbeatty.bandcamp.com. You can find that there, and this is called Fields of Light. And that's part of that tune. And right off the bat, I can tell you these strings feel very comfortable, probably because they're lights as well, because I'm used to mediums. But they're also very, for not being a coated string, and I can't really compare these to elixirs because these aren't coated, but for not being a coated string, they have a very almost flat wound feel. They're very round and they're very slick. I haven't put anything on this. I haven't put any fretboard spray or anything. I just got this out of the case just a little while ago. And no corrosion that I can tell whatsoever. My hands aren't really catching on these strings very, very bad at all. It's easy to kind of slide around. I'm not sure if it's picking up in this lapel mic here, but let's listen to the string squeak. When I lift off and come back, yes, there's string squeak, but if I'm pressing down, it's almost like a coated string. The other thing I noticed about these are, I think they're Nashville Bronze, but they have a nickel base to them. I'll go, like I said, I'll show you my screen here in just a little bit, and we'll talk about more of the finer details about the strings. But the thing I noticed right off the bat is the brightness that I'm hearing in the treble that's balanced very well against the low in the bass strings. Give it a little tune there. B string's always a culprit. The brightness was not a kind of brightness that was harsh or shrill or anything like that. It's very snappy, and no wonder they call these kind of like a bluegrass, very popular with bluegrass players. And I can definitely tell that. It has a nice... very nice brightness there that's not too harsh or shrill, but can cut through a mix or a jam session if you're playing in like a jam session at a festival or something like that. Very well balanced in my opinion. And again, I say a lot of that probably has to do with the fact that these particular ones are the lighter gauge version of these. I'm not sure if they come in a medium, but if they don't, I wouldn't worry about that because these sound like they got the tone. Now this is Bear in mind, this is also on my Martin DCX-1E, and this guitar is not all solid wood. The top is, it's a solid Sitka spruce top, but the back and sides are high pressure laminate, and the neck here is kind of like a gun stock, I forget what they call it. Strata-Bond, I think is what it's called. And the top of the fretboard here is Richlite. It's not any kind of wood. It's like Formica countertop. But for the Martin, it sounds pretty good. It's a good entry-level Martin. But on my Breedlove guitar, I know these would be Hosses because that guitar really projects very well. But I'm very pleased with these strings because they are very nice and light on my fingers. They're not too catchy on my fingers. And according to some of the details that I received from this representative from Black Diamond Strings, they're very corrosion resistant, so there's not a lot to worry about there. I've had these strings on this guitar probably a couple months at least, and I haven't been able to play it a whole lot like I'd like to. I typically use this guitar now for a practice guitar if I'm trying to work on some things, or for a fingerstyle guitar if I'm trying to work on some new fingerstyle things. Now, I also received from Black Diamond a different set of strings I'll probably be reviewing when I get those put on. That might be a while down the road, but I plan on putting those on probably my Fender Malibu guitar, that orange colored one that I did kind of rebooted not long ago and only made like 10 or 5 or 6 videos on, and I want to get back to that. But there's a song that I'm trying to write, and I can't really get through it because even light gauge strings are pretty rough on my hands. And that guitar, Black Diamond Strings, have sent me a set that's like super light strings. They're not 12s, they're like 11 to 51 or something like that. So I will definitely be curious to see what that sounds like on my Fender Malibu acoustic guitar, as well as how they feel for the song I'm particularly trying to write and trying to get through. But these Nashville Bronze strings, I would definitely get these again. For one thing, you don't have to worry about the expense of coated strings, and if it's just a practice guitar like this, I'm not too worried about what kind of strings I put on. This is more my experimental strings guitar that I can change up different strings until I find something that really suits me and it's not too expensive. Black Diamond Strings, they've done very well on this particular string. It's a very new release. But yeah, I'm happy with these strings, and I think you should give them a try. Let's go to my screen real quick, and we'll talk about some of the details about this, what the packaging looks like. I don't have the accurate packaging with me because it's just a beta sleeve, and it doesn't represent the final product whatsoever. But we'll go to the email that I was sent and talk about what his, the representative's idea of behind the strings was. We'll also go to the website and get you an idea of what the strings look like in the packaging and everything. And also, there'll probably be links below. If you want to check these strings out, please do so. That will help support this channel. Also, at the very end of this video, please make sure to click on the video that I have available for you. I think it's going to be about what gauge strings should you choose. Now, that's a very important question, so you definitely want to stay tuned for that, all right? So let's go to the screen, and I'll give you some more details about this. All right, as I said before, here's the original email correspondence that I had with a representative from Black Diamond Strings and their manufacturing company. Let's go ahead and read through this and see what we've got to offer here. First of all, it says, "Hi Eric, wanted to thank you for your honest review of our Black Diamond VT coated strings. Watched the video last night, and this is also available on YouTube if you want to check that video out. I have an amazing new string I would like for you to review. It's a bronze acoustic string, however, way different in looks and sound as it's nickel-infused alloy. This attributes to a virtually non-corrosive, long-lasting string without coatings. So in a sense, coated attributes without a coating. I have 2 beta samples for you. Attached are images for your review video. This is soon to be released to the public in the next 60 days. And like I said, these were back, I think, in March when I received this. So it's been a while since I've been able to finally put them on my guitar and review these. But they definitely should be available for you guys now. And also, the link will be below in the description if you're wanting to find out more about this. We also use the parabolic approach with manufacturing to reduce tension. Less tension on expensive guitars is always a great thing. This balanced low-tension string only comes in 12 to 54 gauge at this time, and I think that will work for you, which obviously it did. Would you be interested in trying them? It is a different sound and should not be compared to an actual 92.8, which is the phosphor bronze, or elixir string. It is an acquired taste that many of our beta testers say is a hit, especially in the bluegrass community. This formula also makes the string great sounding on an acoustic guitar with active electronics, perfect for live touring. Not giving you these free in exchange for a review. It's a beta test and a beta set, and looking forward to your professional opinion. Like I said, these had beta written on the packaging. We made over 500 test sets, and over the last 7 months got them into the hands of touring musicians. The feedback we have received has been more than excellent. The tone, projection, and being virtually non-corrosive are what many touring guitarists liked about the strings, and of course the lower tension feel of the strings. I know you will give your honest opinion, and for this reason I would love the opportunity for you too to be the first person who will review this string on YouTube. Let me know, are you still at this address, and I will fire you off 2 sets, not yet in final packaging. Thanks. Okay, as we scroll down, we'll see some more correspondence here. All right, here we go. Hi, Eric. By the time you review, they will be available. In your review, we don't want to compare it to any brands because these Nashville nickel-infused and silver wounds are not the common phosphor bronze go-to that everyone seeks. Nashville Bronze is a virtually non-corrosive, long-lasting string with no coatings. These are designed for a different feel and sound. Strings are suggestive from player to player. We understand that. As I mentioned, we at Black Diamond Strings, and if I haven't mentioned it before, Black Diamond is highlighted because I did a search for this email. So just don't worry about paying attention to any of that. As I mentioned, we at Black Diamond Strings don't want to follow our competition. We want to create new alternatives for guitarists, and I like this. These are innovative people. This is an innovative company who wants to take the road not taken so that they can innovate and maybe stay ahead of the competition, which I like that. So that instead of following them, they want to be leaders, right? So any company that has that in mind is definitely somebody to look out for in a good way. Black Diamond is an iconic brand since 1890. However, we won't want people to think we're making old strings, LOL. We have new technology, new metals, and make great strings. By the way, we have something insane coming out real soon if you want to take a look. We have been working on this for over 3 years and have a patent. I will get those for review soon as well. Thanks. I may want to do a review on that when he gets those to me. So I actually completely forgot he had a new kind of string he wanted to show me. So let's go ahead and scroll down a little bit more. Eric, by the way, at the same time Martin was working on his titanium acoustic strings for $39.95, we were working on our Nashville infused bronze for about $20 USD. They had the same interest in an acoustic string that was corrosion resistant and lasted a long time. Titanium, however, is difficult to work with as it is brittle. And this is why they had to put a fender bullet ball, more like a fishing weight, on the end instead of a traditional ball, because when they twisted the ball on it, it would break. Our solution is better, as well as cost-effective to the user. $39.95 for a guitar string is pushing the limits, in my opinion. I would have to agree with that, except for, bass strings are usually around that amount, $35 to $40. And we have a no questions asked replacement policy throughout our whole line. We have only one objective, to make sure our users are satisfied and get the service they deserve. We are not in the business of just selling strings. We want long-term relationships. Thanks. Sounds good. Let's scroll to a little bit more here. And here's the last correspondence I received. Once again, a little bit of an overview of the benefits here. It'd be great to see what your likes and dislikes about the strings are. Benefits are virtually corrosive resistant, without protective coatings, due to the infused nickel content within the bronze wrap. I'll be definitely interested to check this out myself as the months pass. Not nickel plated, which is a less expensive process used by other companies to try to achieve the same result. Nickel infused makes for a longer lasting bronze string. Great for frequent performers, but also connoisseurs of expensive guitars that sit around. Lighter tension, which is always a great thing for your guitar neck. No need to change sets often, saving money. Warmer than phosphor bronze with a more of that vintage Nashville sound and tone of the 50s, 60s, and 70s. That's why they're called Nashville Bronze. So to me, they did kind of sound a little bit warmer on the low strings, but the high strings sound like they were just as bright, if not a little bit brighter than the phosphor bronze. But to me, that wasn't a bad kind of bright. Like I said in the video, it was actually pretty pleasant to listen to and play. And lastly, not to be compared with a phosphor bronze string, traditional one. It's a string that is immediately satisfying and grows on you quickly within the first 30 minutes of playing. And backed up by Black Diamond's line of products, no questions asked replacement policy. Okay, so that's the email. Let's continue on with what the packaging itself looks like. And we are here on the website for the Black Diamond Nashville Bronze strings. As you can see here, this is what the final packaging looks like. We also have some for electric guitar, but I'm going over the ones for acoustic, which are right here. And once again, the links for this will be left below in the description area. Now, a lot of this is what you've already seen, what I've already went over. as far as the email is concerned. But if we kind of zoom in here, you can kind of get a better idea of the packaging here. Longer life, extended tone, corrosion resistant, parabolic tension, which we already talked about that before. And once again, he said as of right now, these are available only in 12 to 54. They say medium tension. That's traditionally a light gauge. I don't know if tension and gauge are the same thing or not, but that's what you can see there. And there's not really a description now because these are still fairly new. Specifications only go with the height and the dimensions of the actual packaging. Okay, so that's what the actual packaging looks like. Now let's get to the last part of this video where we'll wrap things up. So there you have it, folks. Black Diamond Strings Nashville Bronze string set. I believe you'll be pleased with them. I believe you'll be pleased with the tone. If nothing else, just give them a try. You've got nothing to lose by giving them a try because, in my opinion, these are very good strings. They sound good, they play good, they feel good, and the tone for having these strings on that long, about 2 months, still has a nice resonant sound. Now, most strings that are non-coated, when I play that low E string, they're nowhere near that resonant. I mean, that's still going. Usually it's really muffled, like I've wrapped a blanket around the guitar and tried to play an E string. I'm very impressed with this. I believe you will be too, okay? So click the links below, check out Black Diamond Strings Nashville Bronze string set. I believe you'll be happy. And also check out this next video that I'll have for you available. Should be on the screen, available here very soon. God bless, we'll see you next time, and as always, keep creating. That's a wrap.